Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the Northern Block Podcast. Today is Sunday, February 18th. And I am your host, LeBlock James. Also joined by my co-host here, Nordic97.
Hello, how we doing?
We're doing pretty good. Let's talk about one man who had an outstanding night and who's had an outstanding season so far, and that is Austin Matthews.
Another hat trick. Another freaking hat trick, dude. I'm actually insane.
Yeah. And I hate giving the Leafs any sort of praise, but Matthews is on pace for 75 goals. And that's insane. I don't think we've seen a time in the modern NHL era where anyone's come close to maybe Ovi, anyone's come close to even near 70. Other than Ovechkin.
It's been a very long time since we've seen someone do the remarks that Matthews is doing. And I think that when you're talking hard MVP, when you're talking MVP race, he should be in the conversation. Because this man had, and I know there's a lot of, there's a lot of arguments you can make, and a lot of people make the argument just because it's the Leafs, and people hate the Leafs. And I understand that, and, sometimes I will join in on that, but it is what it is sometimes. However, Matthews should definitely be in the MVP race and definitely trying to get a Hart Trophy for sure.
He should definitely be in the conversation. For me, I think when you look at the Hart candidates, Matthews is number 3. If he hits 70, he's gonna be a nominee, no doubt about it. He's gonna get some consideration, but I do think guys even McKinnon and Kucherov, guys who contribute other than not on the goal sheet, but also in the assists and the playmaking department, should also be more heavily considered than Matthews. That's just me, though.
No, I think the same way. I didn't say that he was going to win it necessarily. I said that, when you look at other guys, I think there's other players that are overall better than Matthews. It just is how it is. And this year, too, Kucherov is having a really good season. McKinnon's having a great season, too. And Connor McDavid's being Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
So, more or less, definitely, I think that Matthews, even though he's having a really good year, still ranks in number 3. But seeing him most likely going to get 70 goals is insane. Because I think that the year that he hit 60 in 2022.
Yeah, 22.
I think he hit 60 with only a few games left in the year.
Yeah.
He's going to hit 50 with about a third of the season.
He's going to hit 50 before the end of February. He is 48 as of right now, I'm pretty sure. He's 48 or 47.
I think it's 48. If he keeps going the way that he's going, he could just get more than 75. If he keeps getting as many hat tricks as he is. There hasn't been a season with 6 hat tricks from a single player since Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's, and Mario, Super Mario, he's an all time great.
Yes, you're with the elites there.
Mm-hmm. And Matthews, I know I want to dig on the Leafs, but Matthews has my respect. I've always liked Matthews as a player. Coming out of the draft, when he got drafted to the Leafs, I'm but I still like him as a player. He's a very, very, very good player, and you can argue the Leafs without Matthews maybe don't play as well. But the Leafs are still loaded up front.
Yeah. Matthews should not be your only guy that you rely on to be great. Even though, he is the best player, still.
I'm going to ask you right now, season ends today. What are your 3 Hart nominees right now?
My 3 Hart nominees. I'm going McDavid, just, because he should be in the conversation anyways, out of respect for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Matthews, for sure. And then McKinnon. I think Kucherov will get some major consideration, but I don't think he becomes one of the 3.
Especially if Tampa falls out of the playoff race. Then
there is a chance of that happening, too. The other teams are pretty much locked into it, besides Toronto.
I would say my nominees are McKinnon. I'm going to say McKinnon. I'm going to say Matthews. And I'm actually going to put Kuch in there. I think McDavid gets, he just gets snubbed.
That's an argument you can make. Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's a very interesting MVP race this year. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out down the stretch. We're into the thick of where it's hey, we're in the last 30 games. This matters. And going into that theme, we should really talk about the East playoff race because this is heating up right now.
Oh yeah.
Like this East race, it's tight, but it's not tight like it was last year. But it's very very competitive race right now. You look at the playoff teams. I'm going to tell you right now. In third in each division, you have the Flyers, 65 points. You have the Leafs, 66 points. 2 wildcard spots, you have the Red Wings, and you have the Lightning. Out of those 4 teams, do you think anyone is going to catch them?
Devils. That's the only team that I can really see catching either of these teams. I know people will jump straight to saying that, Philadelphia, they're going to fall out of the race. If they were going to do that, I feel like they would have done that by now. I think Philly's a legitimate team from a Flyers fan. I think that Toronto is, even though they had their struggles, they're going to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, for some people, maybe. LeBlanc, I'm talking about you. But anywho, Tampa, I think they have enough firepower that they can make it. If Vasilevsky gets hot at the right time, they can absolutely make it. And I think the Red Wings deserve to be there. The Red Wings are one of my favorite teams to watch this year. I think that they definitely deserve to be a playoff team. They play a really good game, and they deserve to be there. But I do think that one team that is going to catch up to them is the Devils. I think that could be one team that catches up.
So I say the 4 teams that are still in the hunt, like legitimately, because I look at Ottawa, Buffalo, Montreal, they're done. I'm sorry, they're close to Pittsburgh, but they're done. Like they're not, unless they go on some like St. Louis Blues type run, they're done.
Yeah, they're done. Let's move on.
They're done. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the Devil. So I'll start with the Flyers actually. So the Flyers, third place, like I said, 65 points. Their strictest schedule now. Strictest schedule is the higher it is, the harder your schedule is. The lower it is, the easier your schedule is. The Flyers are 18th in the strictest schedule.
Yeah, they have a very easy schedule coming
so they have
up. Not to say that their schedule is easy, but it's easier than comparatively speaking to a lot of Eastern Conference teams.
Yes. So the Flyers, they have an advantage there. Tampa, their strictest schedule, 27th.
That's surprising.
They have a very easy schedule down the stretch. So I've heard, we should doubt this might be the year Tampa misses. But I want to remember last year, remember Pittsburgh had 2 easy games to finish out the year. They had Columbus and they had Chicago.
If they won one of those, they would have made the playoffs.
If they had 1 point, they would have made the playoffs. Didn't do it. So
and that's why I look at harder schedules. And you can consider it like, the Devils are, I don't know if they are, but the Devils are like number 3 on hardest schedules. Yeah, but then again, a team could get hot at the right time and still make the playoffs. And the same thing goes for Tampa. They could have a really easy schedule, and they could still bottom out. You really don't know with the NHL. You can I guess it's an advantage, but then again, is it really?
Yeah, and I always say this, good teams, no matter what the schedule, will show up every night and compete. Doesn't matter how hard the schedule is, they'll always come and bring their A game. They'll usually, the teams that work the hardest win the majority of the games.
Look at Philadelphia. That's like a prime example.
Exactly. Going to our wild card teams right now. Red Wings, 62 points. Strength of schedule, 23rd. They have a relatively easy schedule down the stretch. Their last week is I think it's all the bottom 5 teams in the league. That's what
Pittsburgh.
That's what our good friend Trevor was telling me today. So, yeah, the Red Wings there. And then they go to the Leafs, 66 points. They have the 3rd hardest schedule to end the year. Take that as you will, but they still got to play Florida twice, Vancouver. I think that's all. And they got to play Boston again. So they don't have an easy schedule, but I think the Leafs are firmly to a place where, they'll make playoffs, but you never know.
You never know, but then again, it's the Leafs. I'd be shocked if they missed the playoffs.
If they miss playoffs, Sheldon Keefe, pack your
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Pack,
Keith will be gone. And then as well as that, there's gonna be some major changes. Well, not major, but I feel like there are gonna be some changes again.
that's
But
a what if. And then let's go to your favorite team to catch one of these teams. It's the Devils. 60 points, 2 points out of a playoff spot, 9th hardest schedule.
yeah, so I will say this with the Devils. I feel that when they're healthy and they're getting healthier, they will be a playoff team. And as everything progresses on, and they maybe do go on and acquire a goalie, then that I think they're even more of a lock to go on a run. But then again, you look at the schedule, you never know what's going to happen. So I mean, this is just us predicting. We don't know exactly what's going to
And
happen.
also, we don't know what happens. Like, come deadline, these teams are going to look different.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we're just predicting this right now based off of what we know right now. Like, right now. And I'm with you. I think the Devils can make the jump, and I think this is a team that a lot of us predicted to like win the division.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Devils, as they get their health back, they make the jump. Going to the other 3 teams who I still think have a shot.
They're all Metro.
They're all Metro. Islanders. 57 points, 5 points out, 12 hardest schedule.
Islanders got to pick it up, now, if they want to make it. But I think they have a shot if they just keep taking games to extra time. But anyways, definitely, I think they'll be in the race. I don't see them as a playoff team this year. I think they've lost too many games, but they're there because of those 13 extra points. So
Patrick Waugh got to start yelling more. When he was better at coaching, when he started yelling at everybody. Look at the old Avs teams. When he started yelling, they won games. So
agreed.
So just start yelling. I think you'll be able to get going. But yeah, Capitals 56 points. They're currently 6 points out of a playoff spot. I do know my math. They have the 5th hardest schedule.
Yeah, Washington's one of those teams that I look at them and say you need to just conservatively sell at this year's deadline. I think that, you're 6 points out, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, like, depending on what their next couple of weeks are like, but at the same time, I think it's time they move on. And they sell, and they accept that they're not going to make it this year, and they move some of the guys they can.
Yeah, I like Washington. I like their team, but I think they're just so inconsistent that you just gotta either stand pat or sell.
I agree. I don't
conservatively though, like you said, conservatively.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think you go like full blown sell. If you want to stay competitive for the next couple of years, then I think you conservatively sell. But definitely, I think they're at the point where they should not be trying to go for playoffs.
Yeah, and then the last team on this list, because they have the most, I think they have like the least amount of games played in the league right now. Pittsburgh, 55 points, 7 points out, 8th hardest schedule.
Now with Pittsburgh,
Gensel also just got hurt.
Gensel just got hurt, so that may affect his trade value because he's gonna be out for 4 weeks. But then again, I do think that teams will still inquire on him. It's a major disadvantage for Pittsburgh. It stinks, but it's the hand you have to be dealt. And again, I don't think they're gonna make playoffs. Even with the games they have in hand, like with games in hand, you have to win those games.
Yeah, and I think
they're a benefit, but they're only a benefit for so long unless you win those games. So
exactly.
That's the biggest thing. And I think they're better off selling the guys they have, even Gensel, for the future. So
I agree. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are not a playoff team. To the record, I think they should conservatively either sell or buy. Like, I feel like with Dubas, and I know Pittsburgh ownership is like, hey, we don't want to be sellers when we still have Crosby here. I think Dubas and ownership have to have a conversation about that, because look at this team now. Their window is completely shut. Their championship window is shut.
Essentially, this was the year where they had to win it.
They went for it with the Carlson trade, and like it kind of backfired.
a little bit. So yeah, I don't think they're a playoff team.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Devils do take the wing spot. I don't want to pick on the Wings because I do like watching the Red Wings play. They have a really good team. So I don't want to pick on the Red Wings, but the Red Wings are the easiest target because of the lack of experience, I would say.
Yeah, they're not. I thought they weren't going to be there yet. They may be, but then again, we'll see what the.
If you're the Wings, you're ahead of schedule. So if you just miss. I mean, you still call that a good season. You could still call that a successful season in my book.
You're moving in the right direction.
Exactly. So I think the Devils leapfrog the Wings. I think the Leafs somehow get that the first wild card. And I think Tampa stays there. The only option where I can see the other team jumping is if the Devils take the Flyers spot and the Flyers just some reason they sell at deadline. But I doubt that happens. So I'm gonna go with Devils leap, Red Wings drop out.
I think I'm going to go with that too. I think that's the only logical way. I don't see any other team making it. Just those teams seem too far out of the race right now.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, let's talk about this happening tonight and tomorrow. Stadium Series.
I didn't watch it. Sorry. I'll watch tomorrow's, but I didn't watch tonight's. I think that it's a great idea to have 2 games on a weekend too.
On a long weekend. Yeah, on a
long
long weekend.
Yeah, long weekend. 4 very popular teams. I think it's a good idea for the NHL, and they marketed it very well. Very well. Much better than last year, because last year, half of people didn't even know what the hell was...
Yeah.
Didn't even know what was happening. And I think that, too, there was also no NFL games, no NBA games, no MLB games.
There was there's the NBA All-Star, but... That's not really it's a big event, but I think people would watch this.
Yeah. So very good marketing. Now, when you're talking about what's next, the Blue Jackets are hosting the Red Wings outdoors. There's already talks about us going there. I mean, by us, I mean me and LeBlanc. So we may make that happen. But other ideal future stadium series.
So I actually have a list here of 10 ideal stadium series that I was gonna get into, but I'll let you go ahead.
No, I was asking you.
All right. So basically, I with myself came up with this, and I had a little help from our group chat. So some of these are wild, some of these are like realistic. Like these aren't in any order, but I said the number one here is like the number one I would want to happen. I have Penguins and Flyers at State College at Beaver Stadium, which I think would be absolutely insane. It's not as big as the Big House, but it's pretty big.
I've been to State College. I have family that lives out there, and yeah, I think that would do very well. It's directly in the middle of the state, essentially. So 3-hour distance, pretty much, for both sides. I think that'd be a very good idea, and I would love that.
It'd be a fun little neutral site game too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NHL
actually, there's a lot of Penguins fans out there, but
yeah, but like it's in the middle of the state, like you said, so you get from both Western and Eastern Pennsylvania to converge. So yeah, it'd be nice. The next one I have is the Blackhawks and the Wild at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I wouldn't mind that. Tired of Chicago getting outdoor games, but I wouldn't mind that.
They're the closest team they got there, so that's why I had to put it in Chicago.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think that would be cool. I have another neutral site game. I think I have a few neutral site games, but Stars at Blues at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri.
Ooh. Experiment with the Kansas City marketing? I wouldn't mind that.
Then I have Sens versus Leafs at BMO Field in Toronto, and they're expanding this for the World Cup, so it's a pretty large venue. As I've been told though, it is a wind tunnel. It's right on the lake, so there's some problems there. But it's Toronto. You're gonna draw fans, so why not? And I just want to put out before I go further. Not all these are like some of these could be Winter Classics, some of these could be Stadium Series. I'm just saying in general, outdoor games.
Yeah, I don't know. What I've seen with Stadium Series is the NHL doesn't tend to do Canadian cities.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Heritage Classic is what that's for, but I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah. Flames versus Oilers at Lake Louise in Banff, Alberta.
Flame, that wouldn't be bad. Battle
This,
of Alberta is always good.
yeah. So this would be. I know that they just had one, but I had to put it in here because if you've been to Lake Louise, it is stunning. It is
Oh yeah,
it's stunning. I don't know how they make it happen because I don't think they could just put it on the ice there. Probably do it like a Lake Tahoe situation where you put it on the side. But
Mhm.
yeah. Next up we have Panthers and Bolts at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida.
I've had the idea of doing a Stadium Series in Florida. I think it would be a good idea, even though people say, "Oh, you can't make it work out." I feel like you could.
They had one in Texas. I think it'll work out.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. If you have one in Texas, you can do one in Florida.
yeah, this one here, I think I thought of this. I thought it was very unique, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it would ever happen. Habs and Rangers at Lake Placid.
It's a good idea, but you're right. It probably will never happen.
Yeah, but that one is like because it's in the middle of it's halfway between Montreal and New York City. So nice there. Buffalo versus Pittsburgh at the new Bills Stadium.
I wouldn't mind that. That's a good idea too.
Mm-hmm. So and it would be like the 20th anniversary of the Winter Classic. That was the first Winter Classic.
Right. I think that'd be a cool idea.
Next up, last two, Habs and Leafs at Molson Stadium in Montreal. Be a nice Heritage Classic there.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And the last one I have here, and this one is probably the one I'm most excited. I'd be second most excited about. Avs versus Red Wings at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Ooh, in Denver.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to give an honorable mention out to. I think the NHL should go back to the Big House in Michigan.
I think so too. At least
that,
for one more game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also want to give another mention. I thought of this, and I just didn't put it in because I didn't think it would maybe be marketed. Predators and Canes at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. That venue's huge; it holds over 100,000 people. I don't know if they would get the market for it though, but that's just it's an honorable mention. I think it might be cool to have it in a different location.
Well, Nashville's a hockey city. I think you could.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my 10, and I thought they were a little, some were a little different, some were a little obvious, but you know.
You covered a lot of the ones that I would have said.
Yeah.
So I'll give credit to you for that.
I don't think you would have thought of Lake Placid though.
Well, yeah, not all of them, but a good amount of them.
But yeah, the way this is going though, it seems Gary Bettman said tonight they wanted to do it. They wanted it to be bigger because they said, "Oh, we're getting over 100,000 people in 2 nights. Why don't we do that in one night? Let's go to Columbus at Ohio Stadium." So I'm thinking the NHL is trying to tend more towards the bigger stadiums.
I think so too.
So that's time. Yeah, that's why I think Beaver Stadium on here is like perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do hold over 100,000 people.
I believe so.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree.
Now I'll ask you this: do you like the outdoor games?
I think honestly, they just feel like another game unless you're there. I think that's a cool idea, but I mean, I'll watch them, I guess. But apart from that, really, like it's only that awesome if you're there, more or less.
I like watching them because I think it's a cool experience, but I think being there is a lot like the atmosphere is probably a lot better.
Yeah,
but yeah, I do enjoy the. I remember being there for the first. I wasn't there, but I remember like watching the first ever Winter Classic, and I was like wait, they're outside. Oh my god! And I was 2008, 2008. I was like 10 years old. 9 years old. They're outside. Oh my god! Like I was
1 year old.
I remember it was probably the best ending to Winter Classic I've ever seen. Shootout, and it just started just snow coming down like furiously.
Storybook ending.
Yeah, and it was a big success, and the NHL continued to do it. And the Stadium Series are really cool. They've had them in like Texas, California. They've had them all over the place. So I assume if they can make it work in those climates, they can have it anywhere.
Yeah. That's what I keep saying. Like, you say, like, oh, it's not going to work at Florida. It's not going to work at so-and-so. I think it would work.
I think the game's a lot more, like, it's been spread around a lot more than when I was, like, back since 2008 anyway. So, yeah, I think it could work anywhere. Maybe not Mexico, but I think it could work anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
All
right.
All right, let's get into our deadline preview.
Yep, we've done the last 3 divisions. Let's get the 4th one out of the way. Okay, Carolina. Sorry. Carolina.
Bye.
Yeah, you buy for Carolina. I don't. You may want to look at a goalie potentially. I think that's the one. That's the one area you might want to look at. Yep. But apart from that, kind of just buy or maybe stay put a little.
Goalie market this year might be kind of actually like it's low key kind of good.
I don't know.
And I'm going to say this: if Pittsburgh sells, Nedeljkovic has had a really good year.
That's what I was thinking. Nedeljkovic could get some traction.
Back to Carolina.
Move.
That'd be like a I'm back kind of moment.
That'd be the man. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think you just buy. You as fuck them picks, just throw them out there, yeah.
Yep. All right, Columbus. I think you sell.
Oh, you smell that? It's a fire sale. Something a fire sale.
Yeah. I don't know though if with the new GM and Davidson, there's a chance they might decide to maybe keep some of those other guys like Laine, Provorov, and such. Then again, though, they don't have a whole lot of cap space for a rebuilding team, so I think they could do whatever. But I think
they sell. I think they try and shed salary too.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know. You want this guy? We can I think Columbus would be comfortable retaining a guy for a year. If they have a 2-year contract, hey, we'll retain a little bit. We're going to be bad next year anyway.
Yeah, I think that's something that Columbus would definitely consider.
Yeah.
Devils, I think it's pretty obvious you want a goalie.
I think you want a goalie for sure. I think the Devils are going to decide. I don't think they buy. I think they're going to either conservatively maybe get by, or they just don't do anything.
I don't really know. They've been in talks with Markstrom. I think that's going to happen. I think that's bound to happen. But what do we know? Then again,
I mean, all it takes is one phone call to change everything.
Mm-hmm. So we'll play out, but I think that they will look for a goalie. But apart from that, they won't do much.
Yeah.
Islanders.
Honestly, I think they should sell.
They sell, but what the hell can they really sell?
They can't sell. Everyone's under contract for 7 years. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so just move the guys you can, I guess, and then be done with it. I don't know. Rangers.
Buy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Buy, but do not trade my 2024 first round pick. Do not trade it. I need to show that off at the draft in Vegas.
Yeah, because the guy who's under fire right now for sexual assault wants to. What you said.
I want to show off my brand new building. James Dolan's always been a clown, so.
Yeah, well, without the first round pick, I don't really know what they can do. Get what you get, I guess.
Yeah,
is what it is. Flyers.
I'm gonna let you take the wheel on this one.
You stay put, or you conservatively buy. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't.
I think the Flyers are gonna Briere's gonna decide maybe they're gonna see how this stretch goes down the next 2 weeks, how this stretch goes, and if the Flyers are still in that Metro spot, which I assume they will be, you conservatively buy or you don't do anything. You stay course. Yeah. If you somehow get kicked out of that spot and are fringing on a wild card spot, then I think you might want to conservatively sell or stay put.
Agreed.
But
I think it's only at that scenario.
But I think it's a stay put. Like, don't do anything, or hey, I have a 5th round pick. I want Dominic Kubalik real quick. Just there you go.
In your dreams, boy. Anywho, Pittsburgh.
Sell.
Yeah, you probably sell if you're Pittsburgh. Unless if they have a really big hot streak up until the deadline, I think you just sell.
Unless Mario Lemieux just pull this gun out like, don't, I'm the GM now. I ain't telling shit, and just punch you in the face.
That could happen. But well, yeah, it very well could happen. But I still don't view Pittsburgh as buyers, to be honest.
I don't either. Unless they go on some. If they're close to that wild card spot, though, then you buy. If you're not, like I think about says for everyone, if you're not close, just give up.
Yep, give up. Quit. Yeah. And then finally Washington.
I think we actually covered this basically, but we said, give up, sell,
give up, more or less sell, but don't conservatively, but don't aggressively sell. So yeah, that is our Metropolitan trade deadline review.
Northern Blockcast, quit while you're ahead.
Quit while yep. And then also too, I think an episode before
the deadline.
The deadline, we will do something where it's like, oh, are these?
We will do everybody again when they're in that position.
Yeah, but just right now, kind of what we know. We take what we know and yeah. Anyways, moving on now.
So this
game of block as planned.
So this week we had a debate in our friend group about Jack Hughes, and like I like Jack Hughes, but we have a friend, or shout out Jack. And Jack, we had a game where we said all these players, and Jack said, Jack Hughes is better than them right now. I contacted Jack today. I had him make a list of all the players who he thinks are close to Jack Hughes that he said Jack Hughes is better than them. I'm gonna Norik has no idea who's on this list.
Yep.
At all. No idea. So I'm gonna throw out these names. We're gonna get Evan Nordic's just blind reaction. I'm going to start from the bottom up. So, Evan, are you ready?
These are players that Jack Hughes is better than?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of Benajad.
Yeah.
Clayton Keller.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah.
Jason Robertson.
Yeah, probably right now.
That one's close, but I'm going to go Hughes as well. Nick Suzuki.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easily. Mark Stone.
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin.
Yes.
Mikko Rantanen.
No.
And I think this is the one that we all jumped on him for. We said there's no way Mikko Rantanen is better than Jack Hughes.
Mikko Rantanen is arguably a top 10 player in Avalanche history. So yeah, he's better than Hughes.
He scored 55 last year.
Yeah.
No one when I saw him, are you serious? He scored. I didn't remember that.
He had more points than McKinnon, and even though McKinnon was hurt, he still had more points than him.
Yeah, and I think Mikko Rantanen is one of the most underrated players in the league.
I agree, 100%.
All right, moving on. Stützle.
Right now, I guess, but overall,
I think Jack Hughes is better. He's like a tier above Stützle right now.
Yeah, right now at least.
Yeah. Jack Eichel.
Yeah. Eichel hasn't been the guy that we thought he was going to be. Well, not necessarily, but he hasn't been the guy that he was in Buffalo and Vegas.
He hasn't been the guy who was in the playoffs. He had an excellent playoffs.
Well, yeah, obviously, but
yeah. Right. These top three right here are the guys that I think might have some debates around the NHL. So, Braden Point.
No. Point's more valuable to the Lightning.
I also agree. I think Point is above Hughes right now. I think Hughes will eventually get above Point, but Braden Point is just he's so good. Like he's just
Point's hella underrated.
He's so good. He's underrated, and he's a 90-point guy.
Yeah. So he's better than he is.
Yeah. William Nylander.
Nylander's having a career year, so I go with Nylander right now. But then again, it's definitely a debate.
I'll say Hughes, but Nylander's having a really good year.
Yeah. That's an argument.
And this last one might be up there with Rantanen. Mitch Marner.
Yeah, I think Marner's better. At least right now.
I think Marner's better right now. And like this is fun to debate because like Hughes is like one of the young he's a young up and coming player in this league. And he's really fun to watch. Like I really do enjoy watching Jack Hughes play. Just not against my team.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. He owns Philadelphia. Just like how they owned us today. Thank you, Devils. Flyers can't win an outdoor game.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I think some of these were I think somebody's like he's clear. It's fine. Others are like and then some were like I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think we'll do this again. Maybe we'll do defenseman next time.
Potentially. Different position though, but hey, why not?
But that's all I got for today.
Yeah, that will conclude this episode of the Northern Block Podcast. Thank you all very much for watching or listening. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button down below. We greatly appreciate it. And as well as that too, give us a good review and listen to other episodes and tell your friends.
Tell your friends, yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's it for us. We will see you guys in the next episode. Adios.
Ciao.